Good day, my name is Amelia Appelgrein. I'm a second year student studying foundation phase teaching at Stadio Embry. And today I will be talking about problem-based learning in small groups. So the first thing we are going to be looking at is what problem-based learning is. So problem-based learning is a teaching strategy where learners are presented with a problem or a set of problems they are unfamiliar with. This approach of learning is constructivist learning because it promotes active learning. So through problem-based learning, it will allow learners to self-direct learning, communicate and collaborate with other learners in the groups, be effective in problem solving and self-awareness, and evaluating of group processes. So the reason why problem-based learning is so important is because it shows learners a different way to learn. Instead of traditional learning where we as teachers give them the topic, we give them the problem, and we give them the solution, the learners are only listening to us, and not all learners are processing what we are teaching them at that moment. But when we put a group of learners in a small group from 4 to 6 and we give them a problem which they need to solve, we do not give them the answers, only what we are giving them is the problem. This allows learners to think in a different way because they are not being spoon-fed the answers. They are needing to use their brain and find something, a possibility or a solution to what we are giving them. This promotes the active learning stage in the learners, and the way they are processing information is in a very different way set to them. So when we look at our problem-based learning, there are 3 different methods that we can use. And these methods are experiments, case studies, and role plays and simulations. So when we look at our first one, it is experiments. So example of this one is a science experiment. We as teachers, we know what the outcome is, and we know everything. We know the problem and we know the solution. But when we as teachers give this to the learners to do themselves, the learners need to investigate and solve the problem to find a solution. They need to physically involve themselves to find out what is happening and why it's happening like it is. This way they are finding their own solution to answers because they are enrolling themselves in this experiment. The second method we can use is case study method. Now, a case study method is where we as teachers present the learners with a document or an essay in which there is a group of problems or only a problem. The learners then need to read through this case study and find the issues in the case study and identify them as a problem. When the learners have done this, they need to find a solution through asking questions. Through this, we allow learners to think in a wider range because they are needing to ask valuable and important questions to find a solution to this case study. Then the last one we have is role play and simulation. So in problem-based teaching, we give the learners real roles to play. This can be like 1, 2 learners where we can put in a role play, and we need to give them a scenario or anything, and they need to play this out. When we do this, there are 2 important things that are happening. Firstly, they are involving their emotions, because we are not telling them how to play out this role. We are not telling them what to say. They need to talk to each other and find a way of the solution. We give them the problem, they need to find the solution. So firstly, learners are involving their emotions more. When learners involve their emotions, it allows them to think differently, as what they are going to give an honest and intellectual answer, they are putting in more of what they feel and how they feel, which allows a whole new concept of what a solution can be. The second thing we do is we put the learners in a conflicting role. So when we put learners in a conflicting role, they are not thinking of any solution. They are thinking about the problem they are in and who the person is that is in the problem, which also gives a new direction to a solution as well. So when we are, as teachers, want to give this and implement it in our school, we must start and look at a few points. So the first point we are going to look at is we're going to start with the essential questions. We are giving them we are looking at what they do not know, so that we can find a problem to give them, so that they can find a solution and learn about this problem which they do not know. So the second thing we are doing is we're going to be planning the project. So this is going to be, if you're going to use experiment, a case study, or a role play, you as a teacher need to find out in what position are you going to put this problem in what way are you going to present this problem to the learners. Then after this, you create a schedule. So differing the class into 4s or to 6s makes it a small group, which allows you to explain things better to the learners, and so that you can see what they understand and not understand. So you make up a schedule of a few students that you choose in a group, and you keep puppets. So now you are going to evaluate them. You as a teacher do not involve yourself in what solution there is. You can give them answers, not answers, you can give them questions to ask and lead them into the direction if you want to promote further solutions that they can think in depth. When you are doing this, you want to be writing it down on a worksheet so that you can evaluate what they are thinking, how they are thinking this, and the steps they are following to solve this problem. And then after this, you have to evaluate the outcome. You have to evaluate the problem that was given to them and the solution they presented to you. In the document, I do have references that you are more than welcome to watch if you struggle with any of the problem-based learning, to make it easier for you as a teacher to understand this and implement it in your class. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I really hope that I helped you.